Hello and welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the LA Poker Roundup. It is October 3rd, 2023. Happy belated Doyle Brunson Day to all you poker players out there. This is episode 5, and I apologize for us missing last week, but I was in Korea on my honeymoon. So I'll give a couple recounts and some tales from there. See if I was able to find any poker out in the streets of Korea while I was gone.
And after that, we're going to go over some of the final results from the Commerce Hold'em series, that big, $1,100 or $1,200 buy-in. Really big event that happened over here in LA.
Yeah, since I was gone, Derek was going to have to fill us in on how it went and give us some reports from the trenches.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like a great story there, but yeah, we could definitely talk about my run. And also, we're going to go over some other results over the past couple of weeks since we missed a week of podcast. We have a lot of results to go over today.
Yep, including the MSPT down in Sycuan. In addition to that, the big event that was here just this last weekend, it was the Gardens SoCal special, the big 200K that they ran last weekend. So Derek and I were both down there in the streets for that, so we'll talk about how that went for us as well.
And then we're going to take a look at the Big Poker Oktober Schedule, something that everybody looks forward to here down in LA at the Bike, the big fall event that we have down here.
Yeah, and whenever I see that schedule, since they're using that Oktoberfest call out, I'm always disappointed they don't have more beer specials when we're running these tournaments.
I
mean, come on,
bring those giant mugs around for us.
Seriously, like at least give us a buck or two off the beers. Jeez, I know one Paul that would definitely save a lot of money if they would do that at least. I think I owe that guy I definitely owe him a beer. All right, and then we'll wrap up with our weekly roundup like usual. It's unique hole in the series schedule around here in LA, so we'll see what's going on and what's worth playing.
Let's go.
All right. So, yeah, like I said, I was off in Korea. Have you ever been there?
How was your trip, buddy? I have not. I always want. My wife is actually Korean. Yeah, I've never been to Korea. Well, how was your trip? Like, what did you do?
It was great. It was great. I was there for 2 weeks. I highly recommend you go. I tell you what, I studied Korean for a couple years out here in LA, and I didn't know enough to be useful. So it was very easy to get around for English speakers. They have
nice.
pretty much the signs are pretty much the equivalent of what you see down in K-Town. Everything's in Korean and English as far as the signs go. So you can get around that way. And everyone at the hotels and train stations and planes, they speak enough English to help you out. So other than that, if someone doesn't speak too well, you can always point and go with the numbers. So it's
That's
very
great.
awesome. Yeah, very awesome.
Yeah, seems kind of opposite of like Japan, because I know in Japan it was really hard finding people that would speak English. They're all like super nice, but I don't know why I expected Korea to be the same. So that's kind of cool that you can just walk around speaking English.
Well, yeah, you can walk around speaking English, and apparently everybody there kind of studies English now in school. So it's kind of like the way that here everyone kind of sort of studies like Spanish or maybe French or whatever in school. So they'll have that level of understanding. But at all the transportation and heavy tourist places, they definitely speak enough. There
Nice.
were still a lot of people that didn't really speak much. But like I said, if it's if you're trying to buy something or you're trying to if you're at a store or something, you'll be able to work it out. It wasn't a problem. Yep.
Nice.
What I did find interesting, though, what I kind of want to say, I'll save it and we'll talk about it in another episode, is I was doing my sightseeing and touring around the cities there, in Seoul and Busan. I saw a number of Hold'em clubs, actually. And I wasn't sure what was going on. The
Okay.
first couple we saw during the day, and they were closed. And I thought, are they just bars? Is this just a weird brand for like an internet cafe? But no, tournament poker is trying to get spread through Korea, it looks like, which is very interesting because Koreans actually are not allowed to gamble
Yeah,
except for
I
some
heard
very
that.
select lotteries. Yeah, so all of the casinos, I did check out a couple of the casinos at the bigger hotels that we stayed at. They do have casinos, but they're only for foreigners. I guess there's just one casino in all of Korea that Koreans can go to gamble at, and I did not go there. I did read that apparently Badugi is fairly popular there amongst Koreans, which is interesting.
Badugi's
So,
fun.
the center of Badugi world maybe. But no, tournament poker, they're finding a way to have tournament poker going on. So,
Nice.
yeah, we'll have to
see
revisit that.
Korea spreading. Yeah,
Absolutely, we'll have to
spreading
revisit that for sure.
internationally. Yeah.
And if there's anybody out there who knows how it works, I only have a rough grasp on how they're making the system work. So if you happen to know more details, you're out there in Korea, or you have some connections, let me know. I'd love to pick your brain before we talk about it.
Shoot us a tweet, drop a comment in the YouTube video. Yeah, let us know.
Absolutely. Please, please. All right. So let's talk about results. Man, I missed a lot of tournaments while I was gone. I was,
You
really
sure did.
bummed. Yeah, really bummed to miss the last 2 weeks of the Commerce Hold'em series while I was out. That was a lot of events. I didn't get to play the main event. Very jealous that you got to play the main event, man. So I've got a list here. Let's run through some of the side events of the Commerce Hold'em series, and then we will tackle the big multi-day events that that I missed out on. So I think where we left off last time, let's see, event 12, the $250 no limit Hold'em was won by Alexander Massman. I'm not particularly familiar with him. There wasn't a picture on it, so can't say much about that guy.
Yeah, I don't. I saw his picture and I kind of vaguely recognize him, but yeah, I don't recall enough.
Yep, and then the next event was event 13, the $500 Survivor Tournament. It looks like they had 59 entries, and it looks like the final 6 just decided to do an even chop there. So survivors there were Inoue Shintaro, Hang William. Oh, I'm doing this backwards. I'm sorry. Shintaro Inoue, William Hang, Tui Nguyen, I believe he goes by Tony, right? Gabriel Ayanian, Mark Hamilton, and Marco Jadecade, or Jacade. Man, I understand why Berkey's always hesitant to try and do names whenever they're doing the show. This is,
Yeah, those
you
are
think,
some tough
oh,
ones you got here.
I can read names, and every time you bring up a list, it's like, it's a challenge. It's a big challenge.
Yeah, it's kind of cool seeing somebody from Tokyo show up and win a tournament here in LA. It's cool.
Yeah, well, it's a Survivor, but I'm not sure how cool it is because I'm getting sick of it. We'll talk about that later. All these people coming into LA and winning our tournaments.
Like a virus.
That was just a Survivor, though. Japan, actually, though, we'll have to talk about that as well. They're also finding ways to make tournament poker happen despite the laws. So event 14, the $250 anti-reduction tournament, was won by Luis Payuk. So I believe this event actually was supposed to be the No River tournament. And the later event, we have another anti-reduction for event 16. And that was supposed to be the run it twice, perhaps. Oh, you know what? The time's up. Event 19 was supposed to be the run it twice. And unfortunately, those got taken off the schedule. And I was able to ask DJ before I left about that. And unfortunately, what happened with that was, for some reason, the gaming board was a little bit slow in approving these game variants. I guess typically they're a little faster about it, so they didn't get them in extra early or anything. So because a game with no river is actually a different game.
It is.
And I guess a game with 2 run it twice is different enough. They needed to get approval from the gaming board, and they were not able to get that. So
that's too bad, man. Gaming board, come on, let us have a little bit of fun. Those would have been like really fun tournaments to see how they turn out, right? Just like getting video of people just like freaking out after losing a hand on the turn, and that's it. I think it's super funny.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you were interested in the in that one just because it was an actual new game,
Yes,
right?
so novel, yeah.
Yeah, and I gotta feel like the Run It Twice tournament was gonna have some of that same party feel that like the one chip and all in one was gonna have.
Yeah.
People just shouting.
Your solvers are no help here.
But you did play in an anti-reduction tournament, I believe. I think you cashed final tabled one of those, right? How'd you feel about that?
I did. You know what was interesting is I didn't think the anti-reduction would matter that much, but it just, I don't know if that was the reason, but it just felt like we had really good play like all the way through to the end. It was kind of crazy. Yeah, but it was like a really well-paced tournament for a super low buy-in.
Awesome. Yeah, well, maybe if they get some more good feedback, if you guys played that anti-reduction and you liked it, get on Twitter, leave a comment or leave a comment here. We'll make sure that DJ hears it. DJ takes feedback. He loves feedback and he responds. So if you guys like that anti-reduction, let us know.
It's one of the most player-attentive TDs around.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so event 15, the $250 turbo, was won by Jack Enshiwat. The event 16, $250, another anti-reduction tournament, was won by Brian Nutt. Any of these names familiar to you? Once again, a couple of these didn't have pictures, so.
Yeah, I don't recognize these players, but good for you, Jack, Brian.
Yep.
Well done.
Event 17, the $250 bounty tournament, was won by Sang Park. That's a name that we're a little more familiar with. This guy loves to play. I think I played maybe 4 or 5 single table sit and goes with him at the Gardens
Oh,
just
no
this
kidding.
last weekend. That guy loves those things. Fun guy, always has a smile on his face. Congrats
Nice.
to Sang Park.
Congrats, buddy.
And then the event 19, the 8 hours and times up format, which I have yet to see actually go to 8 hours. I think it always the last several they've run have just ended before then, just not big enough events.
Yeah.
Was won by Brian Freeman, so congrats to Brian.
Good job, buddy.
Okay, so the first multi-day event that finished up at the Hold'em series since the last time we've run this is the Mystery Bounty. So the Mystery Bounty was won by Arson, and this is actually, I believe, a typo. It says Hakobian here, but I believe his name is actually Hakobian. So I think that's an A instead of an O.
Okay.
So congrats to this guy. I remember, I remember last year when I won the Action 8. This guy knocked me out of my first bullet on the very first hand of the tournament. So big congrats to him. I believe I turned the nut flush and he rivered a full house, something like that. So that's awesome. This appears to be Arson's largest score, according to Hendon Mobs. So his best live
Nice.
cash before this was 25. So congrats on the new high score, my friend.
Congrats, man.
And one interesting thing I did read about this event was that the top 8 decided to chop all the remaining bounties. I think they decided to pull their bounties down and chop up the money. And the largest bounty, the 25K, had not been pulled yet. So that's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I was wondering why they would chop that, but it is because the biggest bounty was left, so that makes sense.
Yep. Now, personally, if it was an even chop, which is what I believe I read on Twitter, Instagram, if I'm the big stack, I'm never doing that. What are your thoughts on doing that chop?
Yeah, I mean, as the big stack, you are the one that covers everyone, and you are the one that has the highest probability of getting bounties, and you can take the risk for those bounties, and especially when the top prize is that is the prize money the chopped values?
So it was unclear to me if they chopped the places afterwards or if they just played into a winner. So that part was unclear. I just remember seeing a post that said they chopped the bounty.
Yeah, even with that 25K, let's just say that that's a chop value. That's still so close to first place, right? It is second place money, and if it's not chop value, it's probably still at least like 60-70%, right? So just that one bounty, I think you're right that probably the chip leader should have asked for a little bit more. But if you're just, I guess, being nice at the table and just want to do it, it's fine. But if you're being really nitty about your equity, you're right, Ty, that chip leader definitely had an advantage there.
Yeah, I know for me, when I played the Mystery Bounty at the Gardens earlier in the year, I was actually hoarding all of my bounties. I didn't want to pull them. Now, I know a lot of these Mystery Bounties that make you pull them right away, but I was actually hanging on to them in the event that if we got to the end and there was a chop, I could try and get a kind of percentage of bounties I have kind of chop in on the pool instead. So that was one thing I was trying to consider. And we actually ended up doing something similar at the very end. We chopped it 2 ways, the final 2 of us, and she had cashed in several of her bounties already, but since she was on such a tear, killing everybody, she had the same number of bounties as me again when we ended up heads up. So we used that and we chopped the bounties equally, which was by number of bounties. But I think in this case, what I really would have wanted to do is if we were going to chop, everyone was going to chop the bounties. I would have proposed to see if we could just take those bounties and kind of just mush that into the prize pool and see what the the chop would be.
Yeah.
The ICM chop would be then.
You just make a bigger prize pool. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that I was playing an online mystery bounty, and what happens is after you knock somebody out, they just basically flip over the envelope for you right there. Mm-hmm. So it's fun to have people walk up to some kind of barrel, right, and to pull something out. That's like part of the fun in the mystery bounty. But I guess if they were being efficient about it, they could just have somebody walking around and having you reach into a hat or something and pull your envelope as you go do it. Yeah. But then if you are allowed to hoard it, I guess that is one approach that you can take in terms of trying to realize your equity, is what you said.
Yeah, because I hate bounties. I really don't like mystery bounties in theory. I like the excitement they cause, but for me personally, I just feel like I just don't feel that lucky, so I don't want to pull them.
I'm also not a very lucky puller.
All right, but let's take a look. Taking a look at the rest of the results here, we got a lot of familiar names, a lot of time and girls here. I see looking down the list here. Personally, let's see. We got another Paul Win. You know, he's a kind of a local legend here. We got Michael Ung in 9th place, and I believe I could be wrong, but I think there might have been. No, I think that was a different tournament. I'm trying to remember if they chopped right after Mike got knocked out or not. You see Frank Lynn down here. He's a watcher. If you're in there,
Frank.
Shout out in the comments to Frank here. Igor Efimov. You see this guy playing with this guy all the time. So a lot of regulars in these names. Good to see. It's nice to see people, the guys putting in the time, getting some results here.
Yeah.
All right. So, did you play in the mystery bounty?
I did. I fired 1 bullet, 2 bullets, 1 bullet, something like that. And I actually made it like pretty deep into the day 1, and I busted Ace King and Ace Queen all in pre-flop. Kind of a silly hand actually, but it is what it is.
All right. Well, let's move on to the main event then. So, interestingly, the Commerce ran the mystery bounty somewhat overlapping with the main event. So, how'd you feel about that? Did you hear any feedback from the players about not being able to play both, or having to choose between them?
At the tables, most players didn't seem to like it. I also didn't like it because I felt like they were the 2 biggest events, and I basically had to choose one or the other, especially with my work schedule. And I had to prioritize the main event. So I only played the mystery bounty because I busted the main, and it was like past the rebuy period. So I was like, all right, I'll just fire one at the mystery bounty. But otherwise, I still think DJ knows what he's doing. I think his intention was, to give you kind of options, and that whichever one you wanted to play. But then for somebody like me who would have loved to play both, it would have been nice to have it staggered, but it's not a huge deal.
That's true. And the mystery bounty did still get 537 entries, so that's not too shabby.
Both of them did well.
Yep. And so in the main event, then, that was the one you're prioritizing. How did your main event go?
I ended up making day 2, which is nice, especially in such a tough field. But I felt like I generally I had to fire 4 bullets at this thing, which is kind of a lot of bullets, and I just felt like every single one of those sessions was a slog, except for the last bullet that I fired. And even towards the end of like day 1, I ran into like some super unfortunate hands. I made one of the most ridiculous folds of my entire life against Sean Yu, and I don't even want to talk about it publicly. The people at the table that were there who witnessed what I did were probably just thinking that I'm ridiculous, but there were just a lot of like just crazy hands towards the end of the day that kind of knocked me down. But it was a pretty rough tournament, but I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed the challenge, still enjoy obviously playing with a tougher player pool with a higher buy-in, and then just super appreciative I was able to cash.
I don't think you included that the hand against Sean in your vlog. If I
did not. They asked me if I was going to include it, and I was like, nope, I'm not going to include this. I don't want people thinking that I could fold this kind of hand. It was so situational, and it was crazy.
Oh boy! All right. Well, he's hiding some secrets from you guys. If you guys are interested in seeing more details on that, hop over to Derek's channel. He's got a vlog for the main event. I checked it out. It's definitely fun, man. I gotta commend you. The music you're finding to cut into these things is really spot on. I'm really enjoying the edits you're starting to
thank you. Yeah, the editing's a lot of work for sure, but yeah, I'm having a lot of fun making them, and I'm glad that people like them.
All right, so let's take a look and see who had a little bit more luck, a little bit longer day. So the winner, congratulations to Richard Hasnip. Richard here seems to be a British fella from England. Says here, according to Hendon, he's from Coventry, England, and if you look at his results, it sure looks like he's still over there. So congrats to him. It's a new high score. It looks like best live cash is this. Oh wait, nope, it's not a new high score. I'm sorry, it's within 10,000 of his best. So he got 80,480 for this one. High score is 90K. So congrats to Richard.
Just flew in here and did a drive-by, won a tournament, and was like, peace.
Exactly.
Back.
I'm not sure what he was doing in town, but yeah, I was about to say, between Mr. Hasnip taking down the main here and the Spaniard, if I remember, chopping up and taking first place in our Mega Millions, I think it's a call out to LA players, man. We got to step up. We can't keep letting these Euros just fly in and pass through on their way to Vegas or on their way back from Vegas and take all our money, guys. What is going on here?
have enough euros to deal with playing at the World Series. Don't need them coming over here to LA.
Seriously, like what is happening? Um, but no, congrats to these guys. And once again, looking down the list, a lot of familiar faces, a
Yeah,
lot of familiar names.
yeah, there's
So
a loaded, final table with Brandon, Zoel, even Sean, you busted in 10th. I mean, yeah,
mhm.
Fausto there in 11th. Man,
Fausto
that
right in
was
11th. Yep.
yeah, pretty stacked
Yep.
15, top
And we
15
got
clock. Yeah,
Quackley down here 11th
yeah,
and 13th rather. So
yeah.
uh, foreshadowing, we may hear his name again today. Yeah, and look, you got Frank down there, right?
Yeah,
So
Frank again. Yeah,
yep, Frank in there, and you got Mike cashing. Let's see, let's find.
there's Mike. And Mike is 22.
Yep, Mike's in
Another tough
22.
player. Yeah.
And then wait, where are you at?
I'm
There you
30th.
are. There you are.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got an extra long first name, made your name small for me. There you go, Derek in 30th. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So nice job cashing in that thing. Check out his vlog. And then the final multi-day event of the Commerce Hold'em series was the $250 event where you played until level 17, I believe, on day one, and then you would on day two the blinds got rolled back to level 14. So on day one, you played until you got to the 12K big blind level, and then on day two the blind started at 6K.
Wow.
And from what I heard,
rollback.
everyone and you would either do it until whichever came later, level 17 or 10% of the field remaining. So from what I understand, everyone made the money before that level 17. So what do you feel about that? How does that make it sound to you?
I mean, I love slower structures, so having it roll back to make us all deeper, I would be quite happy about. Although I didn't get to play the event though.
How do you feel the strategy might change then at the end of day one, knowing that the blinds are going to come back? Like once you hit level 15, 16, 17, and you know you're going to come back to 14, would you adjust your strategy at all?
Yeah, for sure. Like you don't have to panic with the short stack, right? You just have to make sure that you make day two. And obviously, if you're gonna go back, even with 12 or 15 big blinds, even with the rollback, then you have to think a little bit about what you're doing. But let's just say that you're sitting with 15 big blinds, and basically you're gonna double your big blinds in day two. There's no need to panic, no need to do anything crazy, right? You're just trying to squeak in there.
Right. Now, the other side effect though is that the blinds are so high, you do need to avoid paying blinds, right? One criticism I heard, and I was talking with a couple folks about this. I believe that Fausto had a really big chip stack at the end of day one, and so this was really affecting him a lot. Was that he found that the people at his table were really stalling very hard because of that rollback. They've already made the money, so there's no bubble they have to play for, and everyone was just waiting for the blinds to roll back before they really started playing, and it was an extreme problem with tanking. Do you think that's the right strategy?
I mean, because that's literally what I said. Like, you don't have to do anything crazy, right? Make it a day two. I didn't mean to sit there and stall every hand. Like that sucks. But it is just something where you don't have to panic, like with your short stack. But I guess it's another thing you can do, which is just to stall. I don't know. I mean, it's just a general problem anytime with any tournaments. Maybe it's just this type of structure makes it a little bit more extreme. Usually there's just enough social pressure that I feel like most people are uncomfortable doing it. So I would have loved to have been there just to see what people were actually doing. I can't imagine the whole entire room. People were just stalling. It sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it was the entire room, but Fausto definitely felt it at his table.
No.
I feel like, like you, I really love the idea of rolling the blinds back. We kind of get we kind of get that when you play these quantums at the bike, right? They have the structure on day one's like this fast daily, and then on day two, it all starts at 2-3 every time, 2,000, 3,000, no matter what.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like making people play past the bubble, past the caching into day two, sort of incentivize them to do that. They switched something in their brains and made them feel like it maybe it did make that the correct play for those middle to low stacks to wait till you can get more chips, right? By stalling, because if you just stopped when you hit the money, some days maybe they stop at level 15, some days maybe they stop at level 16, right? And then everyone rolls back to 14. I feel like that might have alleviated some of that issue. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, just having a day one payout gives you incentive to actually stall, because you're getting like a unofficial cash, right? You're just basically getting your money back. So it would suck to sit there with two big blinds and then bust and miss that cash out because you don't even care about the day two stack. You'll just fire another flight, right?
Yeah. So I found it. I was surprised when I heard people were stalling after the real money bubble just to get more chips, quote unquote, more virtual chips when the blinds rolled back. I thought that people would be taking the opportunity to try and double up from, if they would have 20 tomorrow, they take the shorter stack and try and get called a little lighter. But it's interesting the strategy when you're going to go back in blind levels.
Yeah, I think many tournament players are probably not looking at that type of thing correctly. So near the money bubble and at the final table when there's big pay jumps, that's when you start thinking about ICM, and maybe you just playing tighter is your version of ICM. But to do that when there's like almost no like pay jumps, it's just don't do that. Like you're not, you have to understand that you make all your money in tournament poker from like big podium finishes, right? It's okay to not cash in like 80 to 90% of your tournaments as long as you're making podium finishes the times that you are cashing. So that means that if you're just sitting there grinding, trying to like min cash and trying to get very, very tiny like pay jumps, it's not going to help you. You're probably going to end up getting eaten alive by just like the rake itself, right? on top of the fact that you have to keep yourself profitable over your buy-ins. It's tough. So yeah, play aggressively.
Yeah, I was surprised because I kind of felt like the right way to play an event like this would have had a lot of the field thinning out there at level 17, and then when you came back the next day, everyone just who remained had a lot of chips and a lot of play, and the field was a little, maybe you'd have a couple levels with very few bust outs, right? But it's always interesting. It's why it's cool that DJ runs these things. Kind of they're little social experiments, little poker experiments, try and see what people do. But it was still quite a successful event, and let's see, the eventual winner of that event was Sunny Chen. Congratulations to Sunny.
Congrats, Sunny.
And it was a really nice event. I mean, they got 828 entries, so people did like the idea, and I don't know if other people had the experience that Fausto had or not. Maybe they liked it, maybe they didn't like it so much, but 828 entries, pretty good. First prize payout was going to be 30 grand, and it looks like there was a top 3 chop, and Sunny was able to take home 29,230. So nice. I'm guessing she had all the chips at the end, so that's awesome. Congrats to Sunny.
Yeah, man, Fausto was like on every one of these sheets.
I know, right? Fausto had himself a series. He was in there for the Big 50. He was in there for, I think he was near the top 13 of every one of these tournaments, almost, it felt like, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yep, but there he is. He made it to 4th place. It looks like the second he busted, they chopped. So I'm guessing he was a no chop kind of situation there.
Yeah.
And then, looking through, we've got, Vanek here in 13th. He was day 2 of most of these events too, if I recall.
Yeah. Alfredo at Pacheco number 12 is also another good player.
Mm-hmm. A lot of familiar names, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
And this is Sunny's largest score as well. It's already on the books. Yep, this is her largest cash. So congrats.
Nice, congratulations
to that. All right. So before we move on, I gotta remember I meant to bring this up when we talked about my Korea trip. One thing that was interesting is that over in Korea, in all their bar areas, they have a lot of arcades with kind of carnival games and prizes and crane machines and whatnot. So we checked a few of those out.
Oh my God.
I was able to win myself one of these guys.
That's unbelievable. It won't. I think that's gonna not fit on the table, but
yeah, I don't think he's gonna replace the regular BULBASAUR.
Yeah, the little brother can go along. The big brother will stay at home.
I think BULBASAUR is still the card protector, but
Wow.
I did if I ever final table like the Mega Millions, I might have the wife bring this down, so when we get to heads up, we can just put this guy on the table. Maybe see if that's all right. It could be some intimidation factor right there. I mean, you stare this guy down.
That is intimidation for sure.
All right. But yeah, turns out I'm really good at the little arrow game. They got like a little spinning wheel with holes in it, and you stop the arrow and it goes through.
Nice.
I got pretty good at that. So.
Nice. Good life skill.
Yeah, exactly. If you ever see those around, let me know. Let me know where they're at.
I'm going to call in the closer.
Clean that place out. All right. So let's take a step down and take a look down near San Diego there. While I I believe it was right around the time of the Commerce Main, or maybe just a touch before. Sycuan hosted the mid-state poker tour event. So
Oh, is this the 1K?
that was their main event. Was the 1K?
Nice.
Yep. It might have been a 1600 entry.
Okay.
And they had a pretty good turnout as well. They had 400 entries, and the winner
Nice.
was Justin Lynch from Colorado. So congratulations to Justin. And also you'll see over here in the standings on the right, Mr. Matt Salzberg, whose name we saw just a second ago. Here you go. Who finished here in 8th place of the Commerce main event. Also made his way to 3rd place over here at the MSPT. So congrats to Matt. He had a nice little month there.
Matt's a poker veteran. And that's pretty strong, man. Finishing 2 of the 1Ks that we have in LA and final tabling both of them. That's pretty strong.
Yeah, absolutely. So, congrats to all those guys. Yeah, congrats to Justin Lynch. So, we never get these MSPTs here in LA. I guess the casinos here don't feel like they need to partner with them. Luckily, we still have that WPT, and hopefully we'll have the Legends again next year. And we do have some circuit events that come through, so we do have some of the other guys, but we don't have this one, which is interesting. I'm curious if we'll ever get any of these other new series that are popping up to come through town, or if it's on which end we're kind of choosing to not do that on.
Yeah, I mean, some of the other casinos outside of the Bike and Commerce, maybe this is your opportunity to partner, with one of these operators and bring a bigger series to your casinos. See how that goes.
Yeah, I think that would be really interesting to see. I know I like I see the Moneymaker Tour. Just had a big event, and I believe, was it like Ohio somewhere? That had a big turnout. Nice big first prize of, I think, over 200 grand. And the Run Good series looks like they run great events. I think they won the GPI award for best mid major or something. So
players love these brand operators. They love coming out for those events, like those WSOP events at the bike are just madness, right? So many people come to those. Mm-hmm. So they're big player favorites.
Yeah, we like these titles. We like the kind of national titles and the trophies, right? So definitely bring them on in. All right, so let's head on down to the Gardens. One event that I was able to find a result for while we were out, I think they were promoting their new Sunday weekly tournament on the schedule. Here we have the first Sunday daily that they had 210 entries, and Ali Gorbani took first place in that guy.
Nice,
so
Ali.
Congrats to Ali.
Nice work.
And more, more pressingly after that, we had the SoCal special this past weekend, which was the 1100, the special $1,100 tournament that they put on the schedule just, I think, 2 weeks ago or so. We kind of broke the news here on this pod that they were having the tournament, and that was, I'd say, a pretty big success, all things considered. I mean, even not
for sure,
all things considered. Just taking a look at the numbers for sorry about that. Just taking a look at the numbers for the SoCal special.
That's crazy, man. Like, there was a 2-day tournament, and the 2 days were Friday. One of those days was a Friday. So that's
one of the days was a Friday. So they had 388 entries total across 2 days. And they had 145 entries on Friday with 243 entries on Saturday. So that's...
I mean, I hope all these casinos take note, man. We have a market down here for 1Ks. Please bring more 1Ks. Right?
Yeah, 388.
Stuff these 1Ks with satellite entries, right? You will get the big prize pools out of these.
$388,000 prize pool there. And I believe they only had 30 satellite entries. They ran a mega satellite on Thursday and Friday night, and I think they only had 30 entries from the satellites.
It's like less than 10%. That's crazy.
Yeah, the Commerce Hold'em series had, I believe, 355 entries, and that was a $1,200. It was a $1,200 buy-in, and then this mid-states poker tournament or tour main event down in San Diego, like I said, had over 400 entries. So that's practically 3 weeks in a row Yeah, it's basically 3 weeks in a row of $1 to $1,500 entries in the SoCal area here, and they're averaging about 380, 90 people per tournament. So there's definitely
Yeah,
an appetite for these here. I know I was
yeah,
excited about
definitely.
this. I know I was excited about this. I know you were excited about this. Um,
I mean, you weren't crazy enough to fly back from Korea and just jump into the first flight, were you?
I mean that would be crazy. I got back on Thursday afternoon. I mean, the first flight was on Friday, Derek.
Yeah, I mean,
I
yeah,
mean,
that would
if
be that would just be stupid for you to do
I'd
something like
just be
that.
torching money. I mean, I feel like if I did that, so yeah, no, I did do that. I was almost responsible. The first time I woke up on uh, Friday, I said, you know what, too tired, jet lag, not going. So I went back to sleep. Unfortunately, when I woke up again, late reg had not yet ended, so I did drive down. I
There
did
you
drive
are.
down. I fired that first bullet on Friday, and I ran really good for like an hour and a half. It was great. And I
Yeah, this
actually
is
was probably still running pretty good, but the problem was I no longer knew what my cards were. And
so sleep deprivation does crazy things to you.
yeah, so always check your cards again, man. I have a kind of a routine for checking my cards, so I didn't look back. And I had
Yeah.
about, I think I had about 100K, and I torched good 62, 65K by not looking at my hand again. I thought I had a
Oh my
set.
gosh.
I did not have a set,
Oh
and
my gosh.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
always look. Never be afraid to look back at cards. Everyone.
I was
I
very
do it
confident I
almost.
had it.
I mean, I almost do it like a tick. Like I just like sit there. Even if you watch my videos, sometimes I'm just sitting there like checking my cards in my hands. It's just like a tick that I have. But it also just makes sure that I remember what my hand is.
Yeah, like I said, I kind of have a routine. I always check, I check and then I check before the flop, and typically I can remember at that point. But I was too tired. That
Yeah.
was a problem.
Yeah,
Um,
and this was a very very rough event for me for sure. And you guys will see my vlog come out within the next couple of days. I'm actually going to title this vlog "Self-Destruct" because
oh
that's what
boy.
this really this is what it really felt like. And this is tied to even when I said something a little bit earlier. I felt like last year and even this year my cash rate is something like 50%. It's crazy. No, not by entries but by tournaments. So
Mm.
50% cash rate in tournaments is just like insane. But that also signals to me a little bit that maybe I'm not playing aggressively enough, right? I should be taking more risks to get big chips to get to those podium finishes. But instead, I feel like maybe I'm just like grinding out a little bit too much. So I have to I constantly experiment with, jacking up the aggression a little bit. And I think I just turned the dial like way, way too far for this tournament. So yeah, that it was definitely a rough one for me. But tell us about your run, man. You had a pretty deep run, even with your sleep deprivation.
Yeah, well, after that I went home, I got some sleep, and I did come back on Saturday for another day one. But before we jump off I don't want to spoil too much from your video. I just wanted to kind of ask one thing though. 50% number of tournaments cash rate. That is great, but I feel like I know some of the guys, local guys here. I would not be surprised if I see these guys like in these 250s and 300s, especially if they fire 7 or 8 or 9 bullets every one of these tournaments, right? And if they cash, and maybe they do go pretty deep. So I still would say the number of bullets you fire, your cash rate over number of bullets, is
Yeah.
probably a better indication.
That is
But
definitely a better metric. I think most people just measure it by number of tournaments. But yeah, I think that's just a different metric. Let's just
yeah,
call it,
but
right?
I mean,
It's
even
more
if that
accurate.
number's
Yeah,
30%, I would still agree with you. That's still too high,
yeah,
right? It's probably still too high, assuming
yeah.
you
And
weren't.
I typically am not a person that like rebuys that much unless I like self-destruct that I did like I did for this Gardens event. But typically I'm not like a high rebuy guy. I even wrote like an article about why that just absolutely crushes your ROI.
What so not to bring back too many bad memories, but how many bullets did we fire into this guy?
You guys can find out by watching the vlog.
Oh, the tease. I know for a fact there were a few guys out there. I won't name names, but one of the guys on day one, I didn't feel that bad punting mine when I heard that the goal was to get through reg because they're already on their fourth or fifth bullet. So,
Oh
and
my
I
gosh,
saw
yeah.
that guy playing on Saturday as well. So there were, we're very excited for these tournaments, guys. We want to fire.
Yeah, yeah, we're all like super antsy, right? To play these 1Ks, and we're bringing our whole rolls.
Exactly. Um, Actually, traffic was really bad on Friday night, so I jumped into the Mega Satellite. They were guaranteeing 20 seats, and I believe there was some overlay. I kind of want to talk about that satellite because the Gardens has a really unique satellite structure. We talked a little bit about Commerce's satellites because they are also unique. They do that reverse shootout at the end, and they pull someone. But the Gardens, when I was there for the WPT events and this one as well, I think this is just their satellite structure. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. They
Oh
have a
yeah, I saw that.
milestone plus mystery bounty.
Yeah, yeah. There was a Twitter follower I have, Rusty Shackelford. He seems to be a local player and knows. He was actually like calling out that in the comments. Yeah, I wasn't like I'm actually not super familiar with it, but what I read sounded super fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that it encourages action.
Yeah,
I hate satellites and survivor formats. Um, with a pat, I still play them. I just play them wrong, but I hate it. So the format, for those of you who don't know, the first bit is the milestone, which is great. So say 1 in 10 players gets a seat in the payout structure. That means that what the milestone means is as soon as you acquire a stack that is 10 times the starting stack, you just get your seat. You're out. You're done. So
nice.
say you start with 30,000 chips and say 1 in 10 get a seat. As soon as you have 300,000 chips, you just raise your hand, call the floor over. They count
Yeah.
you up, give you your seat, and you leave. So that's awesome. I
That's
love
actually
that.
one of the biggest upgrades that's ever happened to satellites, and I wish everybody did that for satellites.
Yep. So I love that. And then the other thing
Yeah.
they do, which is interesting, is that when they get down to, I think it's 17% of the field left. Numbers might be a little off. When they get down to say 17% of the field left, it turns into a mystery bounty. Everybody who's remaining has a mystery bounty on them.
That's so
And
much fun, man.
and the bounties are either nothing or a seat. And every
That's so
time you knock
awesome.
someone out, you draw a bounty. And if as soon as the remaining seats, because seats will have been taken out from the mystery bounty or from the milestones, and I guess this is the way they do it. If you get down to 70% left, they put in a number of bounty envelopes equal to however many seats they were going to give away. And that means there could be more in there, so your hit rate's going to be higher than just number of players left and number of bounty envelopes. So say they were giving
Yeah.
away 10 seats and there's 17 people left and 2 people got the milestones. I believe they still put 10 envelopes into the mystery bounties with seats in them. It's just going to end after 8 of those get drawn.
It's so funny. It's like, mystery bounty. It's not like pure disappointment, but some disappointment that you don't pull the big ones. But this is like pure disappointment to pull a
Oh,
blank
yeah.
because it's so
Absolutely.
huge, right? It's like you're seeing, and
Yep.
it's so funny. It's so painful. It sounds like so much fun. And, Kevin, I don't know how you're keeping this thing a secret. I never even heard about it, but I feel like this just needs to make it out there more. It sounds
Yeah. Yep.
hysterical.
I've only played in 2 of these, and in the first one I played in, I made it to the mystery bounty section, but I was the first person knocked out, so I didn't get to have the fun of watching a lot of people pull, seeing the disappointment, getting the disappointment myself, getting it, seeing the second shortest stack win a seat, and see the biggest stack like miss twice. I haven't had to have that joy, but yeah, it definitely sounds like fun, and I think. Some people who like the traditional style or structure might be disappointed, but I just think this sounds like so much more fun,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, I love the pull the big stack out. That's it encourages like fast play, and if you
Hmm.
can do that, it's just so nice to be able to walk away from that satellite early and have the rest of your day ahead of you.
Yeah.
But then just to get down to the part where you're like some sort of like Lord of the Flies, like pulling some kind of envelope, right? Or maybe it's like Hunger Games, right? To get in or out of the
Yeah,
satellites.
and
That's
when
super
you're
funny.
when you're in that mystery bounty portion, you can still hit the milestone amount, so that's still on the table as well. So if you
Yeah,
do pull like 2 or 3 bounties and you miss them all, well, hopefully you're gonna hit the milestone and you're just good there. So
yeah.
all right. So yeah, as far as my event went, yeah, I was pretty happy. I was pretty happy with my event. I was extremely happy considering how tired I was. No joking. I did return from a 2-week trip to Korea on the other side of the world on um, Thursday afternoon. So playing this thing this weekend, I was really concerned I would just conk out after 5 or 6 hours, and just someone would have to wake me up every time it was my turn to act. But we made it through. So, yep, I fired again on Saturday. Saturday went fairly smoothly, and you know what? I was pleasantly surprised that, and kind of going along with what we're saying is that people want this. Most of the players I played with, I'd say 80% of the players I played with were the same players that we play with at all the other series events, the
Yeah,
$300
there's a
events,
lot
the
of familiar
400,
faces.
500s,
Yeah.
right? and they only gave away 30 satellites. This wasn't a quantum where they had a week full of quantum entry satellite
Yeah.
things, right?
I don't
So
know. I don't know why we moved all our buy-ins down so dramatically since COVID, but hopefully this is the sign for you. Like you're absolutely right. It's all the same player pool that are playing the 300 events that were in that 1K event, and if it's not, they didn't come from satellites, it means they're coming out of pocket.
right.
Huge demand for this.
Yeah, for me, I don't understand now why anyone would run a series. And like I said, I love DJ, love him experimenting, but like I don't see why these, even the experimental tournaments, maybe the all in or fold, maybe the one chip tournament, but the other ones, I don't see why they need to be 250. You have your
Yeah,
250, you're gonna roll the blinds back. Why not 350? It's
yeah,
it's a series, make it special. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, so I entered. It was nice. I saw a lot of the same people playing with a lot of the same folks. Still pretty comfortable. I was able to double up a little bit early, stack up a little bit early on that Saturday, and kind of cruise through the majority of the day until we started getting near the end. I was able to bag up, and I actually made it until 18th. I got 18th place.
That was a good run in
for
that tournament. I mean,
for almost four buy-ins.
There were some tough players in there.
There were some tough players indeed, and one face that you don't usually see at the 250s that was there and who cashed was Bill Klein. That's always fun to see him in there in the mix.
That guy, man, he will come out for anything. He just loves poker. He
Yeah.
will show up for a freaking 250. If he's got nothing else going on that day, because he loves poker.
I have
He's
seen
such
him.
an amazing
I have
dude.
seen him at the 250 of the LAPC. I
Yeah.
think. I just love that spirit. I love seeing Bill around. And someone said he was literally playing in the super high roller
Yeah,
bowl up at.
he was playing in the super high roller.
Yep.
I was like, oh, I saw him on the stream, and I was like, oh, he's probably not going to play the
Nope,
the
but
Gardens, but nope, there he
as
is.
soon as he busted, he drove right back and he played at the
Yeah.
Gardens. I mean, that's amazing. I love it.
Okay.
Shout out to Bill. Yeah, I was telling the guys at my table, man. I hope if I were that rich, I hope that would be me. That I would just go. I'd play the super high roller bowl. I'd play this. If I busted, I would go play the Sunday daily like I did when I busted. And if I busted that, I'd go play the $100 sit and goes just because it's fun.
Yeah, and speaking of which, that super high roll board, I tweeted about this. Usually on those streams on Poker Go, you only get final tables, and you see these absolute crushers of final tables, but they're all playing ICM, which is a little bit like ABC-ish type of poker. But we got to see the day one and the day two play at the super high roller bowl. I absolutely recommend going and watch it. These sickos were just pulling some crazy moves on each other, and it was just like things I just never got to see before. Yeah, so do yourselves a favor and go check it out.
Absolutely. So I got 18th. Very happy with that. Let's bring on up the winner here, though. So
Mr. Kwok, this guy is another really good player. Super duper nice guy too. I love this dude.
It's very quiet at the tables usually, but
yeah,
definitely seems like a nice guy. Played with him many times. I know so have you. He's very solid. He's been having a really consistent year the last couple of years, as far as I can tell.
Good player, man. He's just a good solid player.
Yep. And this is a new high score for him. Previous best 45-8. And as I was saying, it looks like he's having a really great year. Looks like he had a really good World Series this year. Good scores in the Millionaire Maker and the
nice. He
1,000
10th on a freeze out.
Yeah,
nice.
So he's having a solid year, and this is good momentum, good cap going into the championship, which I'm sure he'll be.
Good for him. Yeah, happy for this guy.
And let's take a look at the overall results here. See a lot of a lot of great players here. So here's Kwok at the top.
Jared's always
Reiner,
there.
number 3.
Yeah.
He's been
a winner.
Did I say it wrong? Sorry. He's had a couple good scores over at the bike. I know. He's knocking at the door at all these other guys, and he got third place in this one. And I was sitting there playing a sit and go when they finished up, and I can tell you that I am pretty sure he was not interested in a chop, because the moment Jared got eliminated, they did not play another hand. So
yeah, I think there's going to be guys like Jared, me, and Fausto who just don't like chopping, and we're going to get down to the final table, and you're going to have to bust us out first. And usually that's what happens. As soon as I say I won't chop, they're going to bust me next.
Well, you just got to find a different way to phrase it, I guess. I don't know. I was very nice about not chopping, and it did not go so poorly for me. So you clearly just need to work on the energy you're putting out there when you negotiate that, man. But yeah, no, I feel you. I prefer to not chop, but it depends on the deal, right? But it really didn't seem like he wanted to chop. But going on down, number 5 here, Eric Ordonez, he's a buddy guy, you see playing not as frequently as some of the other folks, but he's one of Fausto's students, and he's put up some good numbers. I know he had a good
Hmm.
score over at Hollywood Park this year. Coming down a little more. Just a lot of names, I'm
I
sure.
mean, I think number 6 is Mel Wiener. I think that is
Oh,
the legendary Mel that's been around like forever.
that's right. He is a
Um,
legend.
yeah. And you got George
He
over there,
had
number
all the
15.
chips at the end of day one.
Oh, did he?
Mel, yeah, he's the big cash game player. Older fella has got a bracelet,
Yeah.
and right. So end of day one,
Yeah.
he was absolutely steamrolling people. I think he had almost 1.2 million at the end of day one, and
That's
he was
crazy.
destroy. I saw him run some sick bluffs. He got a couple over on
Yeah.
on
He's a
some
tricky
folks.
player, man.
He's just blasting in there, putting people all in for like 400K on the river
Uh,
on
He's
getting near
he's
the
actually
bubble. It
just a
was great.
very like unpredictable old head, man. Like he's just been around. He knows the game. He knows all the ins and outs, and yeah.
Yep, absolutely savage. He's absolutely savage. We
Yeah,
got
and you got George in 15th. They're good long time LA reg. So L again, number 16. The guy's another crusher.
yep,
There's Mr. Ty. There you go, number
there,
18th.
18. That's right.
And there's Mike again,
Yep.
number 20.
Yep. My day ended when I ran my nines. We were six-handed, so three
Yeah.
tables of six. Ran my nines into jacks six-handed.
Oh,
About 12 big blinds. Just so I feel like there's really nothing I could have done
no,
there.
that's what you can do there.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yep.
It looks like here, Bill Klein actually cashed in 23rd.
Yep. He was in there. He was playing for a while there in day two. Yep. William Klein.
Yeah.
So, all right. Where was I on this? So that is. Oh, so congrats once again to the top two guys here. And while I was there, we heard a lot about some other promos that the Gardens runs. So I kind of want to take a minute to go over some of those because one of them, in particular, this Satellite Spectacular 12,
Yeah.
is suddenly very relevant with us coming up on the end of the year here.
This thing is so huge, man. If you are going out to, you live in LA and you're planning on going out to the WPT for the main in December, definitely look out for this deal here. I mean, you have to go to the Gardens and grind a little bit, but you're going to get into this satellite qualifier for it, and it's a big one.
Yeah, and they have been pulling a couple dollars out of a lot of these events to fund the prize pool for this thing. But even more so, if you have played at the Gardens in the past since June, just go and check your points. You might be qualified already. I hadn't realized how many times I played, but really, if you go and you play on the weekends there and these dailies, because they have great weekend dailies. Their Friday and Saturday dailies have 20,000, 25,000 guaranteed prize pools, which is great for just a Saturday event. You fire 5 bullets into those and you're qualified.
And actually, Kevin, Kevin said that if you want to look up your points, you can just tweet him and he'll go get it for you. So
that's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge. So just to kind of describe how it works is by playing in tournaments at the Gardens from June 7th through October 29th, you earn points, and as you earn points, depending on the event you play, you get a different number of points, and depending on if you final table, you can get additional points. I believe, I'm not positive, I believe that the SoCal special was 3 points per bullet. So if you fired 4 bullets or more, you're in.
I'm in there. I'm in there with many bullets.
So you're it. So Derek's qualified. And the way this works is you need 10 points to qualify. Everything above that will get you more chips to start, so that your starting stack depends on how many you play. So this will favor the people who really get, like, whose local casino this is, right? Which is kind of what you want if it's a reward your local players kind of promotion. Now, Commerce has a monthly promotion for their dailies as well. It's a Player of the Month promotion where the top X players earn points and they get cash back for having those points. So Commerce does a similar thing, but the partnership with the WPT the Gardens has means that they get to do this sort of thing. So what is that? Here's the breakdown of the points. If you have 10 to 20 points, you're going to start with 2,000 chips. 21 to 30, 3,000 chips. 31 to 40, 4,000 chips. 41 to 59, 5,000. And 60 points or more, you start with 6,000 plus 100 chips for every point over 60. I have never played in one of these, so I'm not sure how many chips the regs, the locals there, can gain. But someone who plays there as often as someone like maybe George plays at Commerce could probably build up quite a starting stack. So I'm not sure what to expect there, but it's still going to probably be a turbo kind of tournament, so really anything can happen.
Yeah, all
And
satellites are kind of like that, but man, to get that 10,400 seat plus some
yeah,
looks like some sort of like travel expenses too, man.
yep. So the prizes, no matter how many people show up, it looks like 27 people are going to get paid out. 27 through 19 get $250. 18th through 10th will get $500. 9th through 7th will get $1,000. And then the top 6 players will all get that WPT package, which is the $10,400 main event seat and up to 8 nights at the Wynn Encore in Vegas, and $500 in travel expenses. And special WPT VIP passes, which include meet and greet with WPT talent.
Yeah,
So
it's a good deal.
that's what value.
Yeah, definitely go there and try to, even if you min qualify for it, just take a shot, man.
Yeah, and that tournament is on November 4th. So that's November 4th, which brings us to our last topic of the show. The Big Poker Oktober schedule is out at the bike. And
Yeah.
just to jump ahead before it's still in your head, November 4th on their schedule is the day 1B, or I'm sorry, the day 2B of their final big tournament, the mini mega.
Oh man, they landed on 2B.
Yep, that's on 2B.
On the Saturday.
Now, one thing is that the satellite starts at 10 a.m. at the Gardens, and this starts at 12 p.m. at the bike. So
that's a bad overlap because it's not
4
close.
hours.
It's not close, man.
It's not that bad. It's 20 minutes. 20 minutes to drive there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's some traffic, but
yeah,
so, that's an unfortunate overlap. I didn't know that was
something to
happen.
consider. Yeah, something to consider.
Shoot. Okay. Well, all right. Yeah.
It is what it is. If you can play on Friday, maybe you would have shot. But so final topic. Let's talk about the Big Poker Oktober schedule.
Yeah. So everyone's looking forward to this one. The big bike fall tournament.
Yeah, and it's it's a pretty short series. Some of their series run more than a month. This guy starts on October 10th, which is next week, and it runs until the mini mega is over, which I'd imagine would be the 6th-ish, I'd say. So until November 6th. So first event on the schedule, kick off with a quantum with the regular array of day ones and a satellite, and then the day 2 being on Friday, unfortunately. So the day 2 is a Friday, $2,000 buy-in, $2,100 buy-in, and it's a $300K guarantee. So what do we think?
I don't get why the bike loves these day 2 on Fridays or some weird like Monday or Tuesday. It's like really unfortunate for working people.
Yeah, I totally agree. When I saw the schedule, I forgot that my personal schedule is a little unique in that I work Monday through Thursday, and I have Fridays off. So I'm going to be able to play on these Friday events, but for a normal working schedule, you're just completely out of luck. So if you're a kind of a hardcore casual or I don't even know, to classify, I feel like there's a number of different kind of target audiences out there, a number of different player types out there, right? You have your pros, they're going to play every day, any day. They're just looking for the best value. You got kind of the semi-pros, right? It's kind of like you and me. I feel like for me, any day I'm not working or any day I don't have a strong, other commitment because I'm not a pro, I'm willing to just play. So weekends, multi-day tournaments, those are what I want. I want a shot at the big tournaments. I like the multi-days as long as they are on my days off, right? Is that kind of how you feel?
It is exactly that. And I know these tournaments still get good turnouts, but I mean, it's definitely people are not coming out because they can't make those day 2. So there's probably some significant portion of people not coming out. But then also for the people who have to like take days off, it just kind of sucks for them, right? Like, yes, they're going to still show up by taking a day off, but it just kind of sucks for their schedule. So I really do wish that the bike would kind of shift a couple of these bigger ones to land on a Saturday. It does seem like they are in love, with running that deep stack, the 1-day deep stack on Saturdays, and those get like a huge turnout. So obviously the bike is a business and need to do what they need to do to bring in as much revenue as they can, but just from a player friendliness perspective, I think a lot of us do wish that some of these other day 2s landed on a Saturday or Sunday instead.
Yeah, I talked to a couple of people during the Gardens tournament who were really lamenting the fact that they just can't take any more days off. We're at the end of the year
Yeah.
now. They're
Right.
starting to get
Right.
pushback, right? Like I just can't take a day
Yeah.
off for a
I
day
mean,
two.
especially if people want to go out to Vegas for the December series too, right? So a lot of vacation time's going to go for that already
Yep,
with the summer with Vegas,
absolutely.
with the WSOP. So yeah, I mean, just it would be nice to land some of these bigger ones on more the nine to five friendly schedules.
Yeah. Yep. And kind of going back towards kind of player pools or player types, I feel like there's another kind of more casual but still like enthusiast kind of player, right? Who would play more but they just can't due to some reason or another. And I think for
Yeah.
them, these 1 day deep stacks are really great. So
Yeah.
that probably is a larger player pool. So for that, I do think this is awesome. These deep stacks I see on the schedule, the last series they were 100K guarantee. Now they're all one two. Well, now two of these are 150K guarantees. So that's pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, even if you want to just do something like, I don't know, run the deep stack on Sundays, even though I don't think, as many people come out on Sundays,
Yeah.
or even if you just do something weird, like make the day two on a Sunday and just have the day one or to have that Saturday, like be a day off for like the bigger event, right? So you can run your deep stack. I don't know. Even that would be preferable than landing the day two on a Friday.
Yeah, it's so hard to juggle that and to still hit those guarantees. I
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah, for sure.
sympathize. I just know for our player type, the really hardcore enthusiasts who want the shot, the bigger ones, really hurts to not have the day
Yeah.
twos playable.
Yeah.
But
But still, a lot of good events here, and super excited. Looks like they threw a 1K there later on in towards late October. So
yeah,
excited for another 1K here. That we we're getting a little bit spoiled with 1K every month.
yeah. So we'll go through these as they come up week to week. But let's just quick whiz through the schedule. So we started with that 300K guarantee quantum with the Friday day two. The $2,000 buy-in for that 300K makes the value seem a little off to me. So that's always strange how they choose how much per to be in. And
Yeah.
then that first weekend, the Friday the 13th weekend. They have kind of their regular 1 day schedules for the weekend, which is a 30K guarantee deep stack on Friday, with some mega satellites thrown in on Saturday. That's going to be the big one. This big 1 day 150K guarantee, $400 buy-in. That's going to be massive, and I see why they can't run them on Sunday because then you're going to run into a lot of the same problems. People who can't really afford to be
Yeah.
out until 2:30, 3 o'clock because they have to work the next day.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So with their usual survivors at night, Sunday that one day mega stack 40K guarantee. That's a $250 buy-in though. So 40K guarantee for $250 buy-in is not bad. And then Monday they have another mega stack 1 day, kind of their normal thing. But it's good to see on the schedule some mixed games again. So
Yeah, nice.
Monday they're gonna have a limit Omaha 8 or better tournament for $400 buy-in. So that's cool. And also a super bounty. So they actually have a lot of events going on Monday, which I find interesting. Not things I'll be able to go to, but hopefully be popular. So then they kick off a mystery bounty after that. So their second week event is a mystery bounty. It's only 150K guarantee with a
Oh, it's another
25,000 big bounty.
it's another combined stack one. Interesting.
Yeah, combined stack. So sort of like the one they ran at that was
Yeah.
just run at Commerce. This one
Yeah.
looks like it has a wait. Why does so? Is it a quantum setup? It looks like it has a quantum structure, except you can't buy into day two because I'm seeing two different buy-in amounts, 560 and 300. So
Yeah.
that's really interesting indeed. Let me scroll down to the structures. Or do I still have that page? All right, you know what? We'll talk about that when it comes up.
Yeah. Interesting.
But I'd say from looking at it, there's a 560 and a $300 price point. It looks like there's two different. Yeah, and it says that 6% advance in the cheaper one. So I've never seen that. So
Yeah.
it's like a quantum in the buy-in structure, but you're going to combine stacks that you bring forwards, and you cannot buy directly into day two. So very interesting.
Oh, it's interesting. It says players will carry their two highest bags forward, so it's only
So
the
you can only
two
combine
highest
two.
bags. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
nice.
and you
There's
can't
a cap
and
to
you
it.
can't bind it two. So that's weird. I have never seen them use their quantum day one structure without the day two buy-in.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah. So then that following week, the week of 10/20, they have the weekend of 10/20. Sorry, they're still going to have their and the day two of that mystery bounty is on a Friday. Another strange scheduling thing.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna skip that one probably.
Yeah. So for that weekend though, they're going to do a repeat of the previous weekend. So they'll have their 30K guarantee one day. Saturday, the 150K guarantee one day, and then Sunday the 40K guarantee. All right, so then the Monday after that, they're going to do, actually, it looks very similar to the one before, another one-day tournament for Hold'em, and this time, instead of Omaha 8 or better, it's a Big O 8 or better. So that's
Oh,
cool.
it's Omaha and Big O.
Omaha,
Yeah.
yep, Omaha, the first Monday there, Monday the 16th, and then on Monday the 23rd, Big O. So if you're looking for those tournaments, that's when they're going to be. And then on the 24th, sticking with the mixed game, on the 24th, they're going to have a Heroes tournament.
Nice.
And then on the 25th, they're going to have a limit 8s or better, limit, is that EO 8 or better? Is that stud and Omaha 8 or better? I'm not sure what the E part is.
I don't know anything about mixed games.
I
I'm a
thought I
Hold'em
knew,
guy.
but yeah. So I think that might be stud and 8 or better. Well, like I said, when the week comes up, and then they're gonna do limit triple draw on Thursday.
Yeah, that was
that's
really
the one
fun.
we played. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's at 1 p.m.
don't think,
unfortunately, so I guess we won't be
yeah.
able to play.
Yeah, Thursday at 1. I'm not gonna be able to make that,
Yep, so
but
we won't be able to make
good
that.
luck to
But
everyone. That
yep.
was super fun. If you want to try mixed games, I think that is a good set of 3 games to go do. It's fun. It's easy to pick up. And you know what? Everyone was super helpful. I was just like, hey guys, I've never played these games before, and they were all like really helpful.
Yep. And like I just learned, Badugi's really picking up popularity in Korea. So if you want,
Yeah, right.
So it really looks like if you're a mixed game player, the week you're interested in is this the 23rd. So mark your calendars, October 23rd. That week they're going to be having mixed game tournaments. So as far for the Hold'em players, another interesting setup here. It looks like they're going to have a traditional 1K running starting the 23rd. So that's a Monday. So the 23rd through the 27th, they're going to have day ones for a 1K, a $1,100 buy-in, and it looks like a traditional tournament. Saturday being the day 2, no buy-in to day 2. Unfortunately, since Saturday is the day 2, you're going to have trouble entering because all the day ones are Monday through Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
Regular working
just
folk, same thing.
Yeah, it's just too bad that they don't. I love when they just do something where one of the day ones is on Saturday, even if that's the one I can play, and then day 2 is on Sunday. Those are usually perfect, and I think DJ's usually really good about letting those in the commerce events. But maybe I'll just at least try to get one day off to play one of these day ones.
Yeah, this is really, that one in particular is kind of baffling me. Why not shift it and just make sure that everyone's gonna, you get that audience, that people who can only play Saturday, Sunday, to give them a shot. They are capping the series off with Mini Mega Millions 3, and it does start before that day 2. So, I mean, it seems to me like they are just saying, hey, you guys who would like to play that, I'm sorry, just play the Mini Mega Millions. Because those day ones, those Quantum day ones start on 10/27th, Friday, and then we have those day ones going all the way through the next week until November 2nd. In which case, then they're going to have their, the signature thing of the Mini Mega Millions appears to be having 2 day 2s, a day 2A and a day 2B. And those are going to be on November 3rd, Friday, and November 4th, Saturday.
Man, that WPT satellite, so unfortunately, anyways, it is.
I'm all for going down there and just blasting off for an hour, and if I get a lot of chips, try and win the 10K, and if I don't, I'm gonna drive up to the bike.
I would hate to miss the first couple of levels of 2B though, but
well, all we have to do is bag up on 2A, and then it's not an issue.
Yep, that's it.
Right. So
gotta close out 2A.
Yeah, that seems like the easier solution, right? So that is the schedule there. And you know what? Another thing that I kind of think that the bike had in the back of their mind with some of these larger events is this. So while I was playing at the, I don't know if they're talking about at your tables, but at my tables, and especially at day 2s when everyone's saying, oh, what are you going to play next? This came up a lot, the Windfall Classic.
Oh, yeah. This is, usually a huge fan, player favorite. I didn't realize this was running like right before the WPT event, so that's a huge couple of months here for the win and the encore.
Yeah, so the Windfall Classic started yesterday on Doyle Brunson Day. They started a 150K guarantee tournament, but coming up this weekend and every weekend after, they have a large multi-day tournament that culminates in a day 2. That is on Saturday. These ones in gold all their day twos are on Saturday, and it's this weekend. There's a $500K guarantee,
Man.
$1,100 entry with day 2 and Saturday. Next weekend, there's a $1 million guarantee mystery bounty, $1,600 buy-in that has day 2 on Sunday, and the championship, the main event with the $1,600 buy-in, $1 million guarantee. That day 2 is on Sunday the
Man.
22nd. So that
So
may be,
jealous.
yeah, these may be something that they're thinking about when they're scheduling the Big Poker October.
So jealous about these, huge guarantees over there in Vegas. I remember I was joking with Christina Gollins about this, where she was making fun of our guarantees down here in LA.
Hey,
'cause
didn't
we're
she
so
live
small.
here until just a year or two ago?
She did. But yeah, now she's getting to live over in Vegas and play these just much bigger guaranteed prize pools. But it seems like all the guarantees are ticking up, right? So now the Mike $1 million guarantee is actually a mini mega, right? And now it's a 1.5, which is the mega. And then you even see, I just feel like everyone is kind of lifting their guarantees up a little bit, so that's nice.
Yeah.
It's a good indication that we are, potentially in a, not potentially, it feels like we are super in a poker tournament boom right now.
Yeah, we have this 150K guarantee instead of 100, like you said. So even
Yeah,
just
exactly.
month to month, we're seeing it go up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all the operators are recognizing this, and you're going to get more players out, the more the higher your guarantees go.
Yep. Exactly. All right. So this next weekend in the LA area is one of those rare weekends where we don't have a series going on.
Yeah.
So before we get to that real quick, I just wanted to point out that the schedule here. Oh, geez, what did I do? Oh, I accidentally clicked the link. All right. The schedule here just happens to be on the back of the September 20th issue of Card Player Magazine. I don't know if you've had a chance to see this yet, but if you come down here to page 34.
Who's on page 34, Ty?
Well, look at that. They Craig Tapscott there contacted me, and we did a feature and on the Memorial Day tournament that I won, trophy right back here.
Nice.
So if you had a chance, go check that out. Nice write up here. I talk about some of the hands we played. Nice shot at Bulby here, and it's really cool. I didn't really expect or think that would be interesting or interesting enough to get something like that, but it's really fun, and now I can say I've been in Card Player, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Nice.
And you know what?
Yeah.
A lot of LA locals getting a little love. I saw the issue before this one, the one with Phil Hellmuth on the cover, I think. Fausto got a write-up, this same article,
nice.
The Final Table Takedown. And I was just looking Craig's Twitter, one of his recent posts. He was talking to another local, I believe it was Ed Liu. It was giving some advice.
A lot of LA guys getting some coverage.
Yeah.
Nice to see you in this. Yeah, this is cool, man. Making it the Card Player.
Yes, yeah. So very cool there. So check it out if you have a chance. And I know that also, I don't have it pulled up, but Derek got a interview in Poker Code's website, right? Is that?
Oh yeah, Poker Code. Yeah, Poker Code was a coaching site that Fedor Holtz had started back in 2010 or something. I was actually one of the first people to join that site, and it was really helpful for me. Like, it was right in the beginning of when I started trying to make a shift in the tournament, so I learned a lot, from them. And it was really funny because I'm in their Discord channel. I'm not actually super active in their community anymore, but then one of their guys pinged me and was like, "Hey, did you have a big score?" And I was like, "How did you even know that?" And then they asked me to do an interview, and I did. So yeah, it was good. It was nice to get featured.
Yeah, no, so very cool. A lot of people having a lot of success around here in LA. It's great to see, and hopefully, we'll keep popping off in these kind of more notable tournaments and get some respect around here, and keep these Europeans from coming in and taking all our first places, right?
Yeah.
All right. So it is time for the roundup of the week. Let's take a look at what is going on around the schedule, or around the horn, around LA, and what is a good thing to play. So this weekend, all the regular dailies in play. One thing I wanted to make sure I pointed out is that I believe just yesterday, the Hollywood Park finally posted their tournament schedule on their website. They had it, if you'd gone in there, but if you're trying to find it online, you could not find it. We posted it out to the Roundup's Twitter when we got our hands on it a couple days ago. So go ahead and check that out if you have been waiting to see what the schedule is over there. And it's really important to take a look at their schedule if you are a Hollywood Park player, because this time of year, there's a lot of days where they don't have tournaments because of the events at SoFi. So, for instance, this Thursday, there's no daily tournament because Pink is performing at SoFi. And this Sunday, there's no tournament because the Rams have a game. Yeah, I didn't know Pink was playing. So that's, another thing. You can find out what events are happening in town.
Yeah.
But as far as the roundup goes, this weekend, one of the tournaments you really want to have on your calendar is at Hollywood Park. I believe the largest thing going on in town is this Saturday 50K special, a $360 buy-in starting at 10 a.m. at the Hollywood Park. And the end of registration runs all the way until 2:30, so you do not need to buy in that early.
It's a one-day tournament?
It is a one-day tournament, yep. Now, one thing for that particular tournament, the ones that they expect to get a really large turnout in, when they do get crowded, they do play 10-handed until they get down to fewer players. So one thing to keep in mind. I know
Good
for
warning.
me,
Good warning.
For me, that makes me want to reg late. So the last one I went to, I reg late, and it's not a big deal. They typically start you with a lot of chips. So I think even with max late reg, I still had like 50 bigs or something. So it was still
nice.
totally
Yeah,
fine.
give Hollywood Park a nice visit.
Yep, give them a shot.
Actually, I feel like maybe I was mentally already taking the weekend off from poker, but we'll see how my Saturday schedule goes.
And if you like bounties, their Friday tournament is also upped their guarantee to 25K. So if you like bounties, the Friday tournament is a 25K guarantee, and the Saturday one is 50K. If Hollywood Park's just not easy to get to, the dailies at the Gardens, I definitely recommend it again, especially if you're thinking about, have your eye on that WPT promo, because those will get you the points. Here we go. Those will get you the points that you need for this. And the Friday and Saturday tournaments down there will get you 2 points, an extra 2 points if you final table. And the guarantees on those, I believe the Saturday one is 20K, and I believe the Sunday one, I believe, is 10K, and the Friday one, I'm on their website. Let me just look it up.
Yeah, go grind this out so you can get some raffle tickets for that WPT Saturday.
So the Friday daily is at 11 a.m. there. It's 20K guarantee. That's what I would play if I'm in more south of LA. And the Saturday one is a 25K guarantee. And go get those points. For the lower schedule, or for the lower price point, Lucky Lady running their tournaments, and they have a 10K guarantee on Saturday and Sunday and Friday night. So if you're looking to play at a slightly lower price point, the 10K guarantees over there look like a pretty good deal. Me personally, though, I'm torn between going to Hollywood Park and just waking up early on Saturday and driving all the way up to Vegas for the win day one. I don't know. It's very tempting, man. 500K guarantee for the same price point we just played at.
And this win is it's probably one of the nicest places that you can play poker. So yeah, definitely a good experience.
I've never played there, so another reason is I've never played at the Win.
Oh man, you're in it for a treat.
I know. I gotta go. And at the very least, I gotta go and learn where to park and get a player's card before the main event in December, right?
A player's card at the Win?
No, I don't. I've never been to the Win. I've never been.
What is happening?
I honestly don't play a lot of poker when I go to Vegas.
I'm excited for you, man. Like Win and Encore it's just such a great venue. And obviously the WPT is going to be huge, so it's going to be a good time.
Yep. The only thing I'm worried about if I do that is I've heard that on their more popular events, the alternate line gets quite long. But
oh my gosh, the Prime, the 1K, it was like a 2-hour wait. So like busting out was just like huge. Like they were literally just like, just go up to your room and just go hang out for a couple hours and come back. They were like, your number like 1100 and we're on number like 30. I was like, wow. Oh my gosh.
That is the one thing I am afraid of, but I feel like that won't be an issue for this particular event. So
yeah. Well, good luck whatever you try to do.
All right, yeah, and you too. I hope you do get a chance to check out Hollywood Park. One of these days you do.
I think mentally this weekend I was gonna maybe try to catch up on some of these videos. There's so many good video games that came out that just are stacking up in the queue here for me.
Oh yeah.
So I wouldn't mind just spending some time with the wife and the pets and playing some games.
Is she a gamer?
She's a gamer too. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
my wife plays some games
plays
too, but very particular ones. Like we play very kind of goofy co-op or slightly competitive ones, not the hardcore deep games.
Yeah, I have to drag Lisa to play some co-ops with me every once in a while, but she's like a really serious like Valorant player, and I like a lot of these like RPG type of games, like
nice.
yeah.
Nice. Yep. That used to be my jam. All right. Well, that is going to do it for us this week. Thanks for tuning in. Um, any closing words, Derek?
No, actually, I want to thank everyone for their support. Continue to come to, me and Ty either in person or on Twitter or anything, and just let us know what you like, what you don't like. Your feedback means a ton to us. Your attention means a ton to us. So thank you so much for listening to us and supporting us.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope you're enjoying it as much as we are. Please, remember, hit like, subscribe if you want to stay on top of us when we're putting the stuff out. Spread the word if you like what you hear. If you hear one of your friends, shout it out. Let them know. Tell them to come in and check it out and shoot us a comment. And until next time or till next week, we will see you at the tables.
See you at the tables, everyone.